Hello, denizens of the internet, and welcome to Particulate Emergence, the newest game by Knucklecracker Games. I have to assume they crack their knuckles there. This is a strategy game, and if you've been following along on the channel, then you know that we've been taking a look at Creeper World 3 in preparation for Particulate Emergence. Now, the game is finally out, and I finally get a chance to make some videos on it, and I'm pretty excited to bring this to you if you haven't played it yet. I am a fan of Knucklecracker's games. I think they're a lot of fun. I think they're deep strategy games, and usually they're quite polished. This game is no exception. Now, this is the map immediately after the most incredibly basic tutorial, such as click on a ship to select it. And, well, we know how to do that, so we're going to skip past that. This is the next one where we still have giant green arrows that say, hey, pay attention to this right here. Now, of course, I've actually played through the game. I've finished the story campaign, and I'm bringing it to you here without the story elements so that I don't spoil anything, but we'll actually get to see some of the gameplay mechanics. Now, this is still going to be an incredibly easy mission. There is nothing that is complex or hard about this mission. We're just going to be dropping in some ships and taking out the most incredibly easy opponent ever. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. And you'll notice that over here there are these emitters that are emitting some particles that kind of fly around. Now, they aren't all stupid. The particles actually have their own intelligence that is kind of based on fluid mechanics. They have goals, they have things they're trying to do. So let's go ahead and bring out our corporate ship here. This is our main ship. If this ship dies, well, usually it's not even the end of the world. It just warps out and your energy network goes down, and it's some time before you can bring your energy network back up. Let's go ahead and bring in a second ship if we're going to construct that using the energy we're getting from this energy node here, as well as these energy pods. And we're going to move that up and start capturing some more territory. And you'll notice the particles are flying in, but really we don't have to worry about these particles. These are really no threat at all, really. And I'll explain what I'm doing as we go. So you can see they have some sort of intelligence, but not really. By the end of the game, though, you're going to see them doing some not necessarily intelligent things, but they definitely are going to do some sentient things. They're going to do things and have actions that something that was simply completely dumb wouldn't have. And that's something that Creeper World didn't have. Creeper World, the creeper was dumb. I mean, it had a purpose, but it was dumb. And thank you. And well, here, the particles that you're going up against, they do have some sort of basic communication, they have basic intelligence, and in fact, later in the game, they start linking up into actual ships that fly against you, and they have goals and all that goodness. So, what we're trying to do here is, our ultimate goal is to take out this emitter and this emitter here. That's not going to be any problem whatsoever. So what you're seeing me do is capture these energy nodes that you saw, and these energy pods. These energy pods give me a limited amount of energy that will disappear as soon as I use it. Like, it's not renewable. It's a limited resource, but it gives you an easier start to the game. So what we're doing here is I built some ships, and I can build them from this over here. Now, this is not, I can build as many of the ship as I want. This is kind of like you get a license for the ship. So I have one lathe out. I happen to have a license for a second one, so I can go ahead and bring that ship out. But once I've built that ship, I can't build it again unless I acquire another license for it. Similarly, I have these structures called omnis, which you may recognize, and what this is doing is this is actually producing mire on the land. And the reason why this is significant is because I get energy from the land that I have mired. So I'm actually going to put down another one, and then fly this one over here. And we're going to capture this little energy node here. So we want to mire all the land that we can, and this is kind of like putting down Creeper from the last game, but trust us, it's not bad. You know, it's not evil Creeper. So, okay, so here we go, and we actually have a decent number of particles up here. Let's go ahead and defend our little node here. So let's push out. This mission is so incredibly easy. We could have finished the mission by now, and in fact I have. I finished it in under 2 minutes. I was in the top 40 or whatever. Yeah, doesn't matter. the significant things that are going to happen in this game is in the early game you're going to be establishing your energy networks, you're going to be building defenses, building your ships up, and then you're going to be pushing out to take out any and all particulate. So let's go ahead and move him up. We're going to have to attack this kind of head on, because there's a fair amount of it, and it will attack our ship, but we're alright. Let's go ahead and push forward. Now this energy node has a very large range on it. And that range is the entire range we can go and still receive power, because our ships do require power. Otherwise they're going to stop shooting, they're going to stop being able to shoot the lathes, which are what we use to build and deconstruct with. Okay, while those ships are occupied, or while those particles are occupied attacking this destroyer and chewing through him, we're going to slip our lathes up into range of this node. You can see the energy particles flowing through our ships, and boom, we're done with that node. Let's just come on down here. We're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put my lathes back behind my destroyer so it takes all of the damage for me. This is a very nice sacrificial victim it is. And then we're going to move these ships up, try to support as much as we can, and then just come up and take out the node. Okay, this mission, as you saw, was incredibly easy. So let's go ahead and do the next mission after this one, because really that was not very significant. Oh, I've been knocked down. I'm now at 59th. I could probably try to beat that time if I got rid of this. Top player did it in 1 minute and 10 seconds, so let's see how fast that is. Okay, let's go to the next mission, which is Unwise. Now we're going to skip all the story elements, as I mentioned, but one thing I do want to mention is you'll notice there's a checkbox here for Sandbox Fleet. And actually, you know, let's go ahead and take that moment to talk about some of the amount of content that's in the game. It's not just the main campaign. It is story. There are the missions that the developer made before he actually finished the story, so there's some good gameplay there. There is also a simulator where you can generate random missions and you can have your own ships. Then there is missions that people have designed. There is a mission editor. There is a ship editor. You can make your own ships. And you'll actually see that here when I go into this mission, that I could instead choose to bring in my sandbox fleet. And if I do that, then that brings in the ships that I have designed. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the default fleet. Otherwise, the missions kind of break. But you can do that, and it's not actually in the main campaign, if you will. Like, during your main flow through the game, you aren't going to encounter that much. But that's a significant part of what you can do is go out and do missions that people have designed. Some super hard missions. Bring your own fleet and, you know, play through them. And you can do that, and it probably is a lot of fun. Okay, again, skip all the story. So let's take a look at this map. This map is a little bit less tutorial-esque. It only gives us one hint here, where you use omnis to defeat the emitter. So this time we have 3 emitters here. We have an emitter here, we have an emitter here, and an emitter here. We also have some energy nodes around, and we have an emitter here too. And then we also have a ship blueprint up here that we can get, and then we'll be able to build that. It's a very useful ship. We have another Omni license down here, and a data store. This is the story elements in the game that you're trying to acquire, and we'll be able to do that. So my immediate goal is probably to get established up here, and that's for 2 reasons. 1, extra ship license. 2, has energy pods that are going to allow us to build the ships and fight off the particulates sooner. 3, it has some land for us to mire and thus get energy from. So let's go ahead and plunk down our ship right next to this energy node right here, and unpause the game. And you'll notice an interesting thing. These can't go over land. So we don't really have to worry about that emitter. It's going to keep this land mired, but we don't really have to go in there. And then you'll notice something else. Wait a minute. These things are attaching to each other. And wait a minute, we got like snakes going on down here. Yeah. There's some differences between this game and Creeper World. Let's go ahead and get our Omni up to start miring that land. And you know what? Let's build the second one, because Omnis can move between zones. Let's go ahead and get our destroyer up as well, because we're going to have to start fighting through these guys. There's nebulas here, which are going to slow the particulate down, but eventually it will get to us. And we just used up that energy pod there. We still have 3 more, although you'll notice this one's getting a little bit drained. You can see that up here. This is how much we have in energy pods, and as we use that up, it will disappear. So there we go. We already have this destroyer built enough that he can start firing on those. And we got another ship, so let's build that ship too. And when that's done, we'll build our second lathe. Now, we don't have much in the way of energy, so let's go over here and get this little energy pack over here. And move our destroyer kind of into a position where we can move to either side we need to. And you know what? What would be great? Move that over there. Actually, no, I should move it over there. Well, you know what? I could go down here, get that other Omni license, and put it there. You know what? Let's divert. Let's put it here. And the reason for that is so that we can prevent this one from completely taking over this land. Okay, so now we have another ship. So let's send that down there, and we'll build our next lathe. Alright, so he's going to move on up, and we're going to use these ships over here. Well, you know what? Yeah, we probably will need to destroy over here. Because they're going to start coming through there. Okay, so he'll take care of these guys down here while we wait for this other lathe to get built, and then we'll send both of them down there to destroy this little node right here. Now you'll notice that where you build is kind of determined by these energy circles. I could build this Omni down here, or rather place it there, and it can get energy from this node. If I placed it a little bit further, it wouldn't be able to get energy. For now. One thing that isn't in the game at this stage of the story mission is what are called amp gems, which are ways you can soup up ships or unlock tech. And one of the techs that you can unlock is the ability for these buildings right here to have their own reactors, which allows them to operate outside of the range of an energy node. Okay, our lathe is done. So let's move these ships up. This is still very early on in the game, so this is kind of safe to do, even though normally later in the game, this would be the worst idea you could ever do. And of course, they're going to react to me attacking their little node here. And fortunately, they haven't done enough damage to my ship. They've taken off the front of the ship, but it'll build back because I'm still within energy range. This ship is particularly nice because you'll see there's this little node right here. And what that does is it slows the particulate down, which gives the other weapons time to work it down and destroy it. Fantastic. Let's build our ship, or move our ship down here to within range of that energy node. And we're pretty much good to go. We now have an energy node here. We'll get an extra Omni license. And they'll move this lathe over here to this energy node here. Go ahead and clear out our events. You know what? I could just take this one and do it. Just go. Alright, let's go ahead and mire this land over here. And then once all our land is mired, we'll slowly work our way over here, because we'll be able to protect these from getting attacked by any particulate. So that's just building up our energy reserves. We don't really need it in this mission because we don't have very many ships. But later on, when you have a lot of ships, some of them have very heavy weapons. Those take a lot of energy, so you're going to have to manage your energy consumption to a degree. All right. Move our combat ships up within range. They're going to start working through the particulate that is still here. This ship we're going to send up and around the top. Ships can fly over land, so I can do this, but I can't stop him on the land. Go ahead and move our ships up a little bit more. Get the story. And then we're going to move our lathes up. This ship, it doesn't have very much in the way of weapons. Despite being our headquarters, it has 2 cannons and those very close range particle beams which will destroy particulate if they get too close. But that's really it. Okay. Let's go ahead and start our push into this. I can also control my ships to a greater degree. You'll notice this will change the facing if I move. If I press the E key, my ship will keep its facing. This is extraordinarily handy. It's certain tasks that need to be performed in the game. There's just a few ships where facing really matters. So let's get these ships within range. Oh, and we actually lost a ship, but that's okay. We have a license. We can just build the ship back. I don't care as long as I get the node. One area where it's particularly good is if you're fleeing. Your ships won't have to turn around to start moving in the direction. They'll just accept moving at a slower rate, which is particularly handy because if the particulate comes in and hits from behind, they can destroy the engines on the ships, and then your ships can't move anymore. So there you go. We took a tactical loss. I don't claim to be the most efficient at this game. So let's go ahead and move this Omni over here because this land is entirely ours. We're getting all of the energy from that. You'll notice we're getting 13 from our energy nodes and 15 from our mired land. Likewise, this land is now entirely mired, so let's go ahead and just start capturing this land. Why? Just because I want to. Move our ships over here. Now here's where we really have to be a little bit more careful that we don't accidentally trigger all of that mass at once to come after our ships, because that would be too much. And that would be a case where we would want to issue one of those kind of tactical retreat commands. We just kind of want to work them down a little bit. You can see up here in the top left that there is 140 particulate left. If that number is dropping, then we're doing something that is strategically okay. If it is not dropping, then we're not really making a dent in it. Sometimes you're going to encounter nodes that can spawn way more than you can destroy, and you have to come up with another way to solve the problem. But as you can see, we're actually working the particulate number down, so if I wait long enough, I win at this, if you will. Okay, that is now entirely mired, so let's bring this over here. Working on that. I think we're probably capable of moving these ships up a little bit more. Now, later on in the game, we're going to get tankers and stuff, but I think probably it's okay to move those up here. Apparently, I released my keys. Move on back. There's that tactical retreat. I must have released the key because they decided to move in a way that I did not approve. Now, this is not actually spawning the ships. This is just an energy node, but by taking it, my ships can now refuel, if you will, and now I can get within range of this node and still have energy to spare. Now, we only have 20 particulate left, so there's no reason why I can't just come down over here and completely take this over. Now, I could continue to take over these other lands and mire them, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to bring an Omni down here, because an Omni has a lathe attached to it. So if I just bring it down here, I'll actually be within range of this particle emitter right here, and this is safe because it's out-mired to us, and it will be entirely safe for me to land here and take out this particle emitter. Now, I haven't done this mission in the most optimal way, but I think you get the idea. Now, he is not attached to anywhere that is getting him energy, so I will probably have to bring another ship, or another lathe up within range. Maybe I can do this. He'll probably run out of energy about the time that this particle emitter dies. No, we got it, yes, haha. Okay, so there you go. And Smith time, hey, we did better than my last time. I could probably play it for speed if I wanted to, but what would be the fun of that? Okay, with that said, let's take on mission number 4. You'll notice now we're really starting to get into some other behavior that we haven't seen, and trust me, that gets crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier until you get to this madness here going on, and yeah. Okay, so we'll get there though. We're gonna do mission 4 here, Insanity. Let's go ahead and launch. Skip the story. And take a look at what we got. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 particle emitter nodes. Obviously, our starting location is designed to be down here in the bottom left. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to bring out our corporate headquarters. We're going to immediately capture the energy node so we have an energy budget. Then we're going to start capturing these little pods here. I'll have to make sure I do that before I actually capture the ship, because I can't build this ship right away. Good. So what's with that? The energy that we're going to get from this pod here, we're going to build a lathe, as well as an Omni. You might say we're kind of stressing our energy, but we're really not, because I have this buffer here if I need it. So, there we go. Okay, we'll come on down here. Now you'll notice that I have this little like plasma field here, and what this plasma field is doing is buying me time. It's just preventing the particulate from getting to me until I get a ship that has weapons within range. Okay, now I have my lathe up, so I'm going to move my main ship out here. It can take this just fine. That's not a problem. Let's go ahead and build our destroyer. Got a cruiser. What that was. And I might be able to come up here and get this one too. Let's go ahead and try to be aggressive. Fantastic. Okay. So, you can pause the game at any time. Let's go ahead and spend that time to get an Omni here. What this Omni is going to do is start miring and capture this Omni. We're also going to go over here and capture this one. So to that end, let's go ahead and build in a second Omni. And then with this ship, let's try to come up here and take this Omni. We're going to take some hits, and you're going to hear the alarm go off. But that's okay. Because really, this as long as we're within energy range, this is not a dangerous amount of particulate. We have some guns on board. We're within regeneration range. Not a problem. Now I own this right here. And again, this is going to extend my range. Now I own this one as well. So now I have some lathes down here. Let's send this one to go over here and capture that. And as soon as this one's done, I'm going to send it up here to get within range of this one here, of this particle emitter. So now our destroyer is done. Let's bring our destroyer up here. Start work on our Joven. Anytime I have energy in store is just kind of wasted. That my store is my top end. I can't go any more than that. Let's bring these two ships within range. Start bringing that out. And there's no point in attacking this because the particles spewing out of here are way too much. But we might be able to push down here. And of course now we have this node here. So why don't I take this Omni up there and just let this one continue to mire the land. Really not a problem. Right now we have plenty of energy budget. Yay! Okay, we start bringing those ships down. Let's go ahead and get our cruiser. And then we'll work on our second lathe. Alright, let's bring the destroyer up, bring the Joven up, lathe, bring that ship up. And we still have plenty in our energy pods, so fantastic. This ship is this Omni is almost done miring this land, and so we'll be able to move it up here. Okay, so now you're getting a general sense for how the game progresses, and the missions get much harder and much more complex as we proceed, but you're going to be maneuvering these ships around to try to take out these nodes, these particle emitters, and here it's designed to be easy. But what's going to happen as you progress in this game is you're going to have to start approaching these very, very, very tactically. Tactically. And the reason why I say that is because as you progress through the game, the Particulate becomes better and better and better at doing certain things that counter you. Oh no, this is in a very advantageous position. This mission obviously has a maximum amount of particulate. And it's spawning here, here, and would be spawning here. But you'll notice it's not spawning because we're already at that max particulate, although it's still going up. So let's go ahead and just take our lathe within range. Why not? Send these ships over. And then we're going to come over here and attack this energy node. With that said, let's go ahead and bring our cruiser over and build our next lathe. Now, I don't have to build my lathe back here because my energy network is all over here. I can just build it directly over here, right with my fleet. We'll go ahead and bring this ship has a lathe as well, so we'll start bringing it within range too. Okay, now let's bring these up. This has a turret on it. It will start shooting at our ships. Not really a problem though. And get its lathe within range, probably. Okay. Strike that. Now we're within energy range again. We'll bring our cruiser up, our second lathe, and now we'll plan out our next move while we're paused. We'll bring this ship up here, bring another ship right here, our main ship right here, so it's within range of its lathe, and then we'll bring our main combat ships up, and then we'll bring our other lathe in from the side, and this one, if it's still going on, we'll just bring up here out of energy range, and that'll be fine. Our goal is to take this pretty much as fast as we can, so that we don't get too many particulate replacements from over here. Mark that down. Okie dokie. Now, how do we want to take this on? Well, the problem is, some of the particulate can just come from here into this outside circle, so it's going to be kind of actually hard to punch a hole in this. But if we kind of position our ships such that we form kind of a wall against it, we can hopefully make a hole that we can take advantage of. Start miring some more land, just because, not really because I have any good reason for it, but just to start bringing these up within range. Okay, so good. Okay, we're able to kind of destroy this wall as it comes. So with that said, let's wait for this line to disappear, and then we'll come in and we'll start pulling the particulate away from that. Now you'll notice that actually the particulate is creating this little like trail behind it. That trail was not there when we started the mission, and in fact you can see there's a little trail here as well. That is something that you move slowly through, and it moves quickly through, and it kind of lays it as it goes. Eventually we're going to get our own anti-particulate that kind of can do the same thing. Okay, now we are ready to begin our advance. Now the smart way to make the advance is from this direction, which is precisely the direction I am not in. So let's rearrange our forces here. I guess, actually come down here. You'll see a little bit will pull off and come toward us, probably. Not too much. Alright, that's good enough. And we'll bring them around. Bring up a lathe to capture this info dump. And our other ships. And just position in there. We'll have to get a little bit closer before we can actually begin fighting this blob. There's 500 particulate there. If it actually does decide to all attack us at once, we will have to retreat, because that is just way too much. Yeah, that's more than we can handle. Retreat! Ooh, we might lose our cruiser to this. Nope, he's overland, so fantastic. Now, this is actually one of the strategic things you can do in the game, is force the particulate to kind of attack you on land, instead of directly engaging with you head-on, because you can travel over the land, your ships can fly over it, but the particulate can't. So the particulate will actually impact the land, and you can kind of cheese it a little bit. I've done that where, ooh, gosh, we may have just lost our main cruiser. I mean, we're doing good work. We're down to 300 or so particulate, but, oh, I see what's happening. It's getting caught in that channel. That channel is forcing it to follow the old path that got laid down beforehand. So that's actually really neat. That's something I didn't see it happening ahead of time. I did notice that when I played the game before, but this particulate, if I can channel the particulate out and away from the node, it will go in this circular path around, and I can potentially sneak up on the main node here. Now, we are making progress here. We're down to about 120, which is around the region where it's starting to get a little bit less dangerous. So I can potentially get a little bit closer. And what I'm going to do is I'm then going to bring my lathes around to the side and try to take out this node while it's engaging with my combat ships. Very quickly bring it down, and we're done. Now, was that better than my previous time? Oh yeah, my previous time was 14 minutes, this one was 7. So, there you go. That is a first look at Particle Fleet Emergence. I know I haven't done a very good job of explaining what the game is, but I hope you stick with me as we play through it, and you'll be able to see for yourself whether this is a game that would be interesting to you or someone you know. Thanks for watching, I'm Dire Penguin. I'll catch you next time.